3. Really, that might be step 3. Whatever, but. So now we're doing the other side, okay? And so the same thing. But now what you're going to do on this side, as example, you're going to put the fabric, you're going to kind of fold the fabric so it's like that. And then from there, you're going to do the same thing you did on the other side. You're going to get this flat and get it flat up here. And then you're going to finger press it and then do that. Okay? And then after you do that, then you're going to do this the same way how you did the other one. Okay, do that. That's terrible, by the way. I want you to. It's all going crooked. But people don't see it, and what you have to do is, when you're sewing it, you have to sew it, as an example, straight the edge of the presser foot, but it doesn't matter. I follow the edge of the fabric. And if it's a little crooked. Okay, so now you see how that's all flat and pretty? So now what you do is you turn it right side out. And then you have to sew it like this. Now, what I said earlier, maybe the first 10 or 15 years or 20 years that I made these bags, I would sew both sides first. Okay? Like, in other words, like, I would do this stitch. Not this. I would do that first stitch. In other words, like, I would sew both sides first. I wouldn't do one side with this open. See, it's easy to sew it when it's open. It's hard to sew it when it's closed. So the best way to sew it is you wanna sew one side first. You don't want to sew both of these and then turn it inside out and sew both sides. You want to make one side first and then make the other side. Now, I didn't learn that till around over 15 or 20 years, or maybe 20, because I'm slow. It took me 25 years to figure that shit out. And I'm not lying. Okay, so anyway, so now look. So then now you start sewing. I hope you're getting this good. Okay. And then you're doing the same thing. The only difference is that now you have to keep it flat, and then you kind of have to look underneath, and you have to feel it with your fingers and make sure. Now, the closer that you get to here, the easier that you can have it to get straight. Now look, now here's where a concept of sewing. Technically, fabric can be coming from any angle. It can be coming here, it could be coming here, it could be coming over there. It could be coming at any angle. But the way that it works is that right when it gets to the needle, everything is flat. Okay, it's kind of like, sort of like an airplane and how it come to the runway. It's like fabric is like the airplanes, and they could be coming from any direction. But then here's like where they land on the runway, almost at where the needle is. That's important. It's a concept. I'm not saying that it's true. It's true. But it's a concept, and you have to think that way. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But that's important, okay? Fabric can be coming from any direction, but just before the needle, all of the fabric is flat. Even right now, because I'm almost at the needle, I'm feeling this to make sure that this is real flat. Okay, and the reason why it can get flat now is because you already sewed this part, and now this part is up in the air. Once you sew past this part and this part is up in the air, now you can come and adjust this part that's in front of you. When you're sewing on the inside like we're doing right now, you have to only sew a little bit, and then you can move this, and then you can adjust the fabric in the front. And then you sew a little bit more, and then you can adjust this. If this was up at the top, I couldn't come below that seam. Okay, so you have to, in a way, it's like you're in a traffic jam. You sew a little bit, you move. You sew a little bit, you move. You sew a little bit, you move. And the thing about it, when you're at the beginning, you can't move down here. In order to get the move down here, first you have to sew all of this. You have to sew and move, sew and move, sew and move like that. I'm giving you the real, like, most comprehensive, man. I'm just saying, because I'm explaining to you how to sew this once you got it connected like that. Because if you don't know, you're gonna be hunting and pecking and trying to figure it out, and you're gonna spend years trying to figure it out. I'm telling you the secret. You sew a little bit, you move. When you're at the beginning, I cannot even open it like this. Now I could open it where I can see the whole thing, where I'm going to pivot. But when I'm up at the top beginning, I can't even get close to making it look like that. I have to sew a little bit, and then I can move my fingers down. And sew a little bit more, then okay. Anyway, I know I said it a million times, but just one of the serious ass secrets, man. Okay, now look. So now I'm opening it up. Now look, I still need to make about maybe one more stitch. Really about a stitch.
Oh shit.
Okay. Okay, so look. Now look, the same thing. Now we pivoting the same way. Now keep in mind how flat it was on the first.
Fuck.
Okay. Now look, keep in mind how flat it was on the first one when it was flat. Now look, to get it flat, I even got to move this part back over here and then move this, and now I'm getting it flat. Okay, but now look. Look how I'm getting it flat, man. Look how flat that is. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That look as flat as when I only had one, and then when I was pivoting, look how flat that is. Do you understand? You cannot be able to get this flat until you get down here. That's why, as example, when you sewing, first you want to get the little piece of fabric in there and lock it. You don't fuck with none of this because you can't. It's the same thing. Like, you can't fuck with this until you get down here. This is a little secret, man. They don't know that shit. Well, sewers, but they ain't gonna never explain it. It's not something that you could exactly explain. I mean, you could. I'm doing it the best I can. And even here, look, this is fucked up, and I'm trying to fix it, but I can't even fuck with that much. First, I gotta just make sure that it's flat right near where the needle is. Okay? And then once I got it flat, then I'm gonna do the same thing. Now, this means you a bad motherfucker, man. When you do this, and then you go back and you do that extra lock stitch, that means that your shit is quality. Okay? And keep in mind, it's hard enough to do that back stitch when it's only one and it's open. It's the same, but it's a little bit harder to do it when it's closed like this. That's why you want to sew the first side first, like this. It took me 25 years to figure that out. Every time I did it, man, and I made thousands of these bags. Every time I did it, I would sew this, and then I would sew this. I was wasting my time. Okay, now you're gonna pivot. Now look, now that I pivot, now I can try to fix this. Fortunately, I'm able to. Now look, again, to fix this, now look, I'm sort of doing that triangle. Okay, remember that triangle? It's not exactly, but a little bit. Okay? And then I'm going to come around like that. Okay, so now that's how you're going to do step 2. And then I'm not going to... I'm not going to do another one because I'm going to...